Today I'm making a video showing you how to replace the water pump on a 2017 Audi A6 with the 2-liter. Pretty common, pretty much the same job if you have an A4 with this 2-liter engine from the same generation. Water pump looks like this. Kind of mounts underneath the intake manifold. Good job to do at home if you're kind of mechanically inclined and you don't have to get underneath the car for anything other than pulling the belly pan. And if you really can't get underneath to pull the belly pan off, it's just going to make a mess. You'll have coolant puddled up on top of it, but you can still get the job done. It would just be a little bit a sloppy way to do it, but that's it. I mean, you could still do it at home, that's all I'm saying, if you can't get underneath the car, because everything is done from the top, which is nice. So belly pan's already removed, as you can see. I threw a tray under there for catching all the coolant. But first thing you want to do is, what I like to do is unplug this throttle body first. Not too bad to, you can use a little hook tool. I already pried this back right here, a little flat blade screwdriver, pry the little red tab straight back, and then you can push in here on the little finger there, and push in on the finger and slide this back. So pull that off there, move that out of the way. Now you want to pull this hose off the throttle body. So undo both these hose clamps. Sometimes you'll need a radiator pick tool or something to kind of separate it if it hasn't been apart. But yeah, so I'm going to do that. Pull the hose off both sides, get this right out of the way. All right, with that hose out of the way, what I like to do next is remove this little T30 screw right here. It's coarse thread right into the plastic. Use something like this, short, like, I don't know, 2-inch, 3-inch extension, and with a T30 1/4-inch drive. And then remove all the throttle body bolts. There's 4 of them, pretty easy to get to. You can just work it like this, and there's 4, 2 in the back, 1 here. Once this is out of the way, do this first, and you can kind of swing this up, and then you can it's easier to get to the throttle body with that out of there. So I'm gonna do that now. All right, with that throttle body out of the way, what I like to do now is start pulling coolant hoses off. Not too difficult. These have these quick connects, so get like another radiator pick tool like this, and you can get right onto the clip here. I'll zoom in and show you. Onto these clips, and you can just pull them out like this into their little service position. I actually pulled it out a little too far, but it's fine. And then you just grab the hose, give it a little wiggle. Make sure you have a tray underneath it to catch all the coolant, and then there it is. So start doing that with the other hoses as well. Once I pull them off, I like to kind of try to put them out of the way and catch them behind stuff like that. Make sure you don't lose any of the clips. If you do, find it right away, clip it back onto the hose all the way like this. It's just good habit. Pull this lower one right here next, and with that one out of the way, same style clip, just smaller. That out of the way, you can kind of take this little group here and move it so you have a little better visibility. All right, 3 of those hoses are removed from the water pump. Now the lowest one there, the upper one, and then the middle one, they're all kind of unclipped. Another nice idea is if you pull this T30 right here, right in front of the oil filter housing down low, you can take this hard line and kind of move it up a little bit higher, and then you don't have to necessarily remove it at the bottom of the coolant reservoir. Removing the coolant reservoir is another kind of nice idea if you aren't used to doing this kind of stuff and you want a little better visibility. That will help. I'm going to leave it in place for this job just because less risk of breaking these smaller hoses that run to the top of it and disrupting the O-ring at the bottom and then having a leak. So I'm just going to leave it in place, but definitely removing that if you're doing this at home is another nice idea. But I'm going to pull that bolt off the front, and then I'm going to move this thing a little bit further out of the way just so I get better visibility. All right, pulled that bolt off the front there. Just undid the one hose that attaches to that end of that pipe so I could shove that back there. Now I have pretty good access. So next thing you want to do is pull these connectors off of this bracket right here underneath the intake manifold, and then use a T30. I'm using this little T30 stubby bit to undo the 2 screws that hold that bracket onto the bottom of the intake manifold. So once you pull the plugs off, you have a little bit better access to this back one, and then you can pull that off there. So I'm going to do that now. these connectors, they just slide out. So you can mostly just pull them off there, wiggle them a little, pull them off. Disconnect them, unplug them. There's no safety tab on them. You just push in that right there, and then you can pull those off, disconnect them. I like to, once I disconnect these, like that, I like to take it and kind of swing it out of the way, kind of push it over here, just to kind of get it out of trouble. And then do the same with the other one. And then there's just one little one down there, but you can kind of see it once the bracket's off, and then you can unplug it and then leave the other side of it connected to the bracket still, and then move the whole bracket out of the way. So I'm gonna do that next. All right, now with that out of the way, what you wanna do is get a 13 millimeter wrench, loosen that nut there, get a triple square 10 millimeter like this, go to the bottom of the bracket, undo that bolt there, and then pull this bracket off here. Be careful if you still have the battery connected, which you should probably just disconnect it anyways, because there's a positive lug right there on the back of the alternator. If you arc that with something, it can be a bunch of sparks and could damage something, so don't do that. Yeah, so I'll pull this bracket out of the way too. I also did a couple other things that I normally don't really do. I just make it a little easier. I disconnected the alternator, the plug for the exciter right here, and then and that's about it. Also, there's a plug back here for the switch over valve, way back here that I disconnected, so I can move this harness out of the way a little bit further. This is the harness that was plugged right here. So just kind of do that, whatever you got to do to get as much room as you can. And now I can see things pretty well. So pull this bracket off next, and then I'll show you what to do. Next thing you want to do is back here where the little timing belt is, the water pump drive belt. You want to remove the two screws that hold this cover on. So the one's up here, the other one, I'll just shove my camera back there, is kind of down lower. Off that bottom edge right there, you can kind of see it. Yeah, just those two T30s. So just use your same 1/4 inch drive T30. If you're working like this, you can just feel around and you can feel where it is. It's right here, off the bottom, kind of by the bell housing. Pull those both off, and then you can take this cover and slide it right up out of there. With the cover off there, you can just take a flat blade screwdriver and just slide the belt right off the side of the pulley here. Just get in there and kind of just keep working it until it comes right off. There it is. Then I like to take the belt and stick it down low so it's just out of the way. Like that, kind of jam it underneath the bracket on the bell housing here. Sometimes it stays. If I'm not filming, it stays perfect. Whatever. Then you want to disconnect the one electrical connector on the bottom of the pump. So that can be a little bit of a fight. If they're fighting me real bad, sometimes I end up pulling the pump off and then kind of flipping it and then doing it like that. But you can see there's a little safety tab at the bottom, the little white connector. So take a screwdriver and kind of push down on that very carefully. That white tab right there. Sometimes you can get your fingers in there and do it, but once you get that pushed down, you can then it's just a normal connector, so you can push in the little tab. But yeah, if it's fighting me, I pull the pump off and then I flip it and then I work it where I can see it better. But pulling the pump off from here is pretty simple. It's all straightforward. The screws are mostly visible. The top ones here, there's one there. They're all T30s. One up higher right there. And then there's one off the back right there. If you're not 100% sure where they are, you can use the new one for reference. But the lower ones are a little bit more tricky, but they're pretty easy. There's only two down here. One of them is right through here. You'll see this little cutout. You're just gonna wanna stick maybe a 6-inch extension with the T30 at the end right here and get that one. And the other one is right here. There's a little opening down there. And you'll see a nice cutout. And you can just do that kind of blind from the top with that same extension. So it's not that difficult. Like I said, if you're not 100% sure, you can look at your new one for reference. So pull all those T30s out, and then it's pretty easy from there. Honestly, there's a little union pipe thing. I'll show you. So I'll get those screws out and show you what it looks like. All right, with all those screws loose, they're captured, so they're stuck with the housing itself. So you just keep unscrewing them until they're just flopping around. You can kind of get your hand off the front edge or off the back of it where the pulley is and pull out like that. Loosen it up, and then kind of wiggle it towards the back of the car like that. And then from there, this whole thing is loose, so you can I'm using one hand, so this is extra silly, but I still have it connected. I just want to show you guys how you can get slightly better access to it if you kind of spin it upwards like this. Now you can get to the bottom of that connector and pull the little white tab off the bottom edge with a little hook tool, and then disconnect that, and then just grab this whole thing right out of there. So this is that union pipe I was just talking about, right off the back of the oil cooler. This little pipe right here. You're gonna want to replace this. I made some other videos talking about it. This is the most common thing that'll leak after you replace it. That'll make you do the job again. So what I like to do is just use an OEM one every time. I've had a lot of problems with aftermarket ones in the past. There are some aftermarket ones that are good. I've installed some aluminum ones that held together pretty well, but the factory ones seem good. They don't leak, you know, when you put them in. And yeah, you don't want to risk screwing around with that and putting some cheaper part on there and having that leak, and then you have to do the whole thing again. So just get an OEM one. But yeah, I'm going to disconnect this plug now, and then I can just grab this pump right out of there. The whole thing is pretty easy to do from there. So that's it. Put it together kind of the same way it was. You'll notice when you're putting the belt back on that you're going to want to use a 21 millimeter socket off the 24 millimeter socket off of the crank bolt to kind of turn the engine over clockwise only. To kind of mount the belt back onto the pump. But other than that, it's all pretty straightforward. So that's it. Thanks for watching.